You're watching 4 Minutes. Hello. On today's episode, you'll witness the harsh after effects that war has brought to our country's most brave and honored veterans, a disorder known as post-traumatic stress disorder. We've interviewed several Vietnam veterans that were generous enough to share their struggles with PTSD, as well as Dr. Goldenheimer, who will inform you of what causes this horrific disorder. Now, I must tell you that those of you with weak stomachs should refrain from watching this episode. Here today, we have Curtis Jackson, who fought in the Vietnam War in the 13th Regiment. He was discharged from the war in 1968, where he later was shot in the wrist to receive a Purple Heart. Now, Curtis, have you had any PTSD symptoms since you've returned from the war?
Well, thank you for having me here today, George. I'm a big fan of the show, and I'm glad to come here to share some of my experiences. After I had returned home from the war, I was okay and I was glad to be home. But at the same time, I began to have trouble sleeping and focusing on ordinary tasks. I remember lying in my hospital bed for hours on end throughout the night, unable to sleep. Sometimes, when I was unable to sleep, I would have flashbacks so vivid that I believed I was back in Nam. The doctors would tell me that I would scream and the bed would shake violently, and it would take them several minutes before they could get me to snap out of it. And when I would sleep, I would have nightmares so terrifying and vivid that I would always wake up in a panic thinking that it was real. It's truly a horrible disease to live with.
Have you been prescribed any sort of medication? And has it had any positive effects?
Oh, sure. Over the years, I've been on tons of different medications to help with the night terrors and the depression. Currently, I've been taking SSRIs, which are selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. The one I'm taking now is called venlafaxine. The medicine has definitely been the best for me so far.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Curtis. Now we're going to switch over to Dr. Geets for a little, so he can explain how the medications help and how PTSD affects the brain.
Well, George, PTSD can be caused two different ways, through physical trauma and psychological trauma. What we believe causes PTSD is that during one's traumatic event, they experience an overactive adrenaline response, which causes extensive neurological patterns in the brain. These patterns in the brain can continue for a very long time after the traumatic event. In some instances, a whole lifetime. Patients with symptoms of PTSD have proven to show little amounts of cortisol in their urine. Cortisol is a steroid hormone that is produced by the adrenal gland, released in times of stress. This lack of hormone leads us to believe that PTSD patients undergo stress. They are unable to control it, and therefore symptoms such as delusions, flashbacks, and angers occur.
Well, Doc, that was very informative and interesting. We have one more veteran left on the show today, Lawrence Greenleaf. Greenleaf was a helicopter pilot in the last few years of the Vietnam War. He received the Medal of Honor and a Purple Heart. Lawrence will tell you a little bit more about that in a second. Thanks for coming out here today, Dr. Geets. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
We have one more veteran left on the show today, Lawrence Greenleaf.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, son.
Yeah. Anytime, Lawrence. It's glad to have you on the show.
Hi, nice to meet you. What's it again?
George Morrisville. Yes, sir.
George, would you mind giving me a light before I tell you the story?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, we was coming up to the landing strip to pick up some Indian soldiers when we was taking heavy fire from 50 cal turrets. Our H-1 Cobra took a dive down 200 feet, straight down to the goddamn rugged terrain. Everyone in the Cobra was killed on impact, but myself, When the cover hit the ground, the roof folded like a piece of damn paper and came straight down to my right leg, cutting it in two. A few hours later, I was picked up, sent to a hospital in China, our damn allies at that time. Ever since then, even 40 years later, I ain't been the same, George. I ain't been the same. Get your damn dream. Get your dream when I ain't even sleeping. I ain't.
It's okay. Go on.
I ain't even sleeping. And I remember being back in that chopper. Doc says I'm having flashbacks. Says I'm re-experiencing that day and every damn moment of it. And when I do sleep, my wife says, I shake so much, shake my damn 1 foot so much. I have nightmares of every second being in that chopper, George. I don't think anybody else knows what it feels like to be in that chopper but myself, because I'm the only left survivor. Doc give me these meds, but they don't work. They just don't work, George.
Well, General Greenleaf, that was a very, very intriguing story. It was truly an honor to have you come out here today. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, folks, as you can see, PTSD is a very serious disorder that needs much further research to find better treatment. Well, that's all we have here today on this episode of 4 Minutes. Thanks for watching. Now, Curtis, have you had any...
No, just start over. Don't stop now. Just get a straight face. We can cut just.
You still on? Yeah. Well, thank you for having me here today, George.
Just keep it rolling. Just stop. Just start over.
Well, thank you, George, for having me here today. I just totally messed that up. Selective serotonin reuptake inhibited. What is that?
Inhibitors.
Damn, dude, I was doing all right.
I know, that was good. It's
Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors.
There it is.
The one I'm taking now is called venlafaxine. The one I'm taking now is venlafaxine. I can't look at you and say venlafaxine. Venlafaxine. Medicine has been this medicine has definitely been the best for me so far. All right, go.
All right, so he can explain how PTSD medications...
Keep going.
Alright, so
Thanks again for having me. I think that's awkward.
yeah, there goes. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Curtis. Last one, this is the real thing. Alright. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Curtis. Why's your name have to be Curtis? Curtis Jackson. Should I call you Medal of Honor? And damn it, Colin.
He puts it down, then I sit on it, right?
Yeah, no,
Yes,
No. You sit down and then you'll just
Yeah,
come
and
over
then
once he's sitting and put it.
We have one more veteran left on the show today.
Yo, they're trying to do a project.
Yo. A veteran left on the show today. Alright.
You chose the worst place in the world.
Lawrence. Wait, what's his name?
Lawrence Vaughn.
Greenleaf. Okay. I called you Vaughn. Lawrence Vaughn Greenleaf. Lawrence Vaughn Greenleaf. Was that?
When we was taking heavy fire.
Sorry. That was great.
Everybody in the coma.
And that's a wrap,
And
right?
then it's when you hop in